guys.
There's Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hi,
Hi,
Imogen.
Jim and Imogen.
Hi.
So this is Jim
Hello, Jim.
Walker, our baker, and his daughter Imogen, who's back at home because the London Theatreland is closed at the moment. Is that right, Imogen?
Yeah, pretty much. Just saving some money because London's expensive and not very nice to be in at the moment.
She's saving money, but we're not.
I like the new use for gingerbread men.
Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Bobby.
Hello.
You must be able to recognise one of the other faces on this screen.
Oh, Bernie. Bernie.
Bernie Jumper, yes, yes.
Bernie's. Are you in? When did you move to Kerry, Bernie?
I haven't done that yet.
Hi,
Hello, Alison. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, Diane. Yeah,
Good, good.
things are. I have my moments.
Yes, yes. It's being widowed's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Just takes time to get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very happy that I had him at home all the time.
Yeah, and he's was such a nice guy. So you were very lucky that way too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hi, Alison.
Hi.
I'm lost.
Hi,
Can
Mike.
I just double check? Is this screen still spotlighted for everyone, even though I've put it onto gallery view for us?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes,
This
so
is-
you're
it sounds like
in front
back.
of you. Yeah, so it's perfect. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you, Imogen.
Diane, can you remember? I'm having a chat with Philip just now to switch to speaker view so that we just see Jim and his
Yeah, that's
wonderful pies. Right?
you should be.
Once we start, if you could switch to speaker view.
Well, we're on speaker view.
I've put us on spotlight, so it should be on for everybody, but maybe it's not.
No, well, it's fine as far as I'm concerned.
It was fine for me. If I go onto gallery view, I get everybody. If I go onto speaker view, I get you. So I think it's up to the individual to do that one.
Yeah, me too. I've got Jim and Imogen, and then I've got you guys up the side. So
Yeah.
it might just be a matter of going on to spotlight or something.
Yeah, but usually if the host does it, then
No, it's just
If everyone
if you
goes on to speaker view on their own computer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hello, Helen.
Hi, Dougie.
Douglas.
If you go onto gallery view, you get everybody.
Hello.
Jim,
And if
do
you
you
go on,
object if I take a screenshot at some point?
We're better to
Jim
take
Walker,
Tell me, so I'm
Hello,
smiling.
Lynn.
do you object if I do a screenshot at some point for publicity? That's fine.
No. Hello, Robin, and hello, Lynn.
Hello.
Hello. Never mind.
I've not paid you yet, but you'll get paid as soon. Once I've tasted the pies, I'll pay you. I've got a mince pie from Tesco's to try out at the moment.
Oh, it would be
Oh.
like
We've almost got a quorum from Blair Gary.
Yeah, well, there should
Hi,
be a few
Robin.
more. We've
Yeah.
just finished our meeting
Yeah,
with Tucson, Arizona. We had a meeting with two from there.
they're here with us tonight, Robin.
yeah.
Wendy and Joe are
They're
here.
with us tonight, of course they are. That's right. Yeah.
We're international.
All right.
I'm looking forward to a nice mince pie to go with my malt whiskey.
I'm just looking at what we have to get this
I'd be
over.
looking forward to malt whiskey to go with my nice mince pie.
so. If anybody wants the recipes, just either probably the best thing is to email me. You've all got my email address, and then I'll email you back the recipes. Okay.
Okay.
Lovely.
Well, it's 7:30. Shall we begin? I'm Bob Harley, the Vice President. We've had apologies from our President, David Hoskins, who's still at work. But it's a great pleasure for me to introduce Imogen and Jim Walker, who are very old friends. I've known Imogen all her life. and a warm welcome to a wide community, particularly from those from over the Atlantic. Let's just hand over to Jim and Imogen.
Thanks,
Thanks, Bob. Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Walker, and I've been a baker for almost 50 years. I served my apprenticeship with Dewar Rhines in Kirriemuir. I've worked a few other places, and I currently work at McLaren's in Forfar, where I make a lot of bridies. However, I used to mess about on the stage quite a lot, making a fool of myself, being a panto dame, stuff like that. And I eventually took Imogen along with us, and we've failed to get her off the stage ever since. Although she did have a wee job at McLaren's doing the dishes, but she wasn't even very good at that. So, but anyway, she's now, as Diane said, she's now a professional actor, and she's normally based in London, but due to COVID and so on, she's been home for about 3 months. Although she is going to be filming a TV drama in the new year.
But tonight I am here as glamorous assistant / Zoom manager / all-round dog's body.
When Bob asked me to host this, he described it as mince pies with a bit of banter. Now the mince pies, I can do the banter, not so sure about that. But if you hear anything that sounds remotely like a joke, feel free to laugh.
To get started, we thought we would look at the history of the humble mince pie, and then while we're doing the baking, I might throw in a few mince pie related jokes as well.
Yeah. Mince pies, like Christmas puddings, were originally filled with meat, such as lamb, as well as the spices and fruits that we know today.
And they were also oval shaped originally, which some people believe was to represent the manger that the baby Jesus lay in. But you already knew that, didn't you, Dad?
I did indeed, which came in handy during my apprenticeship. I had to cut out the puff pastry mince pies, but when we baked them, they went oval because I hadn't relaxed the dough enough. So obviously my boss said, "What's this? They're supposed to be round." I said, "I know, I've made them oval."
But he won't be repeating the same mistake tonight, he has assured me. Although mince pies don't actually have to be round. In the Stuart and Georgian times in the UK, mince pies were a status symbol at Christmas, and rich people like to show off at their Christmas parties by having pies made in all different shapes, like stars, love hearts, teardrops, crescent moons, lots of different stuff. Will you be treating us to any extravagant shapes tonight?
No, I think I'll just stick to the round ones. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okie doke, well, we just get on with it then.
We will indeed. Right, well, the first thing when you're making a Christmas pie is you need the pastry. And so I'm going to show you how to make puff paste very quickly. I've got some already prepared here. And we're going to do it with the French method.
The French method?
Yes.
How many methods are there?
There are actually 3 different methods for making puff pastry. There's the Scotch method, the English method, and the French method. The Scotch method is the one that a lot of people call rough puff pastry. And it consists of, you make the dough and the pieces of fat is in the dough in lumps. And then you give it its several turns, which I'll explain later. And that's the Scotch method for making puff paste. And it's the way that Aberdeen butteries, that's basically the way that they're made. The English method, the pastry is put it in an oblong, and you put over 2/3 of the pastry, the fat, and then you fold it. But the French method, rolling pins.
I don't know.
What have we done with them? The French method, you have your dough in a circle and then you put 4 flaps, like so, which is thinner than the middle piece of dough. You all seeing this?
You're working to
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, then you spread the fat. I use butter because it makes really good pastry. However, commercial commercial bakeries usually use just pastry fat, which doesn't melt quite as easily as butter.
Is this low cholesterol, Jim? Is this low cholesterol?
Oh, aye, absolutely. You can see from my figure it's low cholesterol. Right, but as you can see, using this French method, the butter is completely sealed in. Then you proceed to give it 6 half turns. But I'm not going to give it 6 at the moment because I'll show you one. But then, even if you're making it at home, when you're making it at home, you have to put it in the fridge for about half an hour before you give it the next couple of turns, because it needs to rest and chill down a bit.
So it takes quite a long time.
Yeah.
And these are for the puff pastry ones, and then we're also going to be doing short crust.
Yes. And obviously, this is called laminating, and it builds up layers of fat between layers of dough. And that's how puff pastry works. Because, well, if you're giving it this 6 of these turns, it can be up between 700 and 1,000 layers. And that's how puff pastry works, because the moisture in the pastry creates steam, and because the fat has melted, it makes the paste rise up. Right.
So is that one turn?
That is one turn. I'll do that again. As you can see, it's basically into the middle, over the top. That's it. And next time you would just do it again, same again, and you do that 6 times. And sorry, and you would let it rest again before you use it.
So into the fridge that one goes. And here's one we made earlier. Well, I didn't make it, but Dad did.
Right, so now we can proceed to cut out the... Now, do you want to have a go at this, or...?
You keep going for now.
So we're just pinning the pastry out like so, and use this cutter to cut them out.
Yeah, I'll bring in a joke. That's the cutter. So, Dad, why didn't Santa get any mince pies on Christmas?
I don't know, Imogen. Why didn't Santa get any mince pies at Christmas?
Because it was stolen.
Amazing.
So, what are you doing now?
Well,
you rolled it out.
You roll it out to about roughly 2 1p pieces thickness.
1p pieces going that way, I'm guessing.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know how much that is, but that's about that. You can think of the pan.
Yeah.
Very labour intensive, this, isn't it?
It is. You want to see making bridies, that really is labour intensive. That is because the way McLarens make their bridies is the traditional way. Most other folk cut them out with cutters, but they don't in McLarens. That's one dough, and it's rolled out, so there's no scrap. But it's labour intensive.
Hard work.
That one we need. We also need a jug of water.
I will get you your jug of
So I'm
water.
going to find the jug.
Okay.
There. That's where I go. That's about the thickness. You can see that.
Okay, there's your water.
No, this is the lid. Sorry. We do the lids first because you make the bottoms a bit smaller, a bit thinner. But always remember to shake that dough up or you get your oval shaped Christmas pies.
Unless, of course, it was the oval you were going for, in which case, go for it. It is quiet. Maybe I need another joke, although I don't want to use them all up too early.
No.
But yeah, so you're making the lids. I feel like I'm doing like an interview. Like, so Jim, what are you doing next? So you've got your lids, and then maybe cut out the bottoms now.
Maybe see the, if you show them the thickness. of the
Yeah. So these are your lids. That's 4 of them there. Obviously, yeah, 1p pieces, 2 1p pieces on top of one another. Not the way I was imagining, which you have very thick pastry.
And a thick assistance as it turns out, but never mind.
Okie doke.
Now, why I did them first, then you then take the pastry that's left over and roll it out thinner, and it doesn't need to rise so much as the tops. Well, that's certainly how we do it in the bakery anyway. Maybe you'd want to use all fresh pastry, but you get an awful lot of waste.
So yeah, he's already, yeah, it's hard work. But yeah, we'll do it. So Dad.
Yes.
Who hides in the bakery at Christmas?
I don't know, Imogen. Who hides in the bakery at Christmas?
A mince spy.
Oh.
Obviously, the act that she's doing, she's not going to be a comedian.
But yes, when we were researching mince pie jokes, there's not that many out there, so some of them I've made up myself, which we've not got to yet, so you've got that to look forward to.
There was one, but it was too rude to tell.
Yeah, unfortunately. Right, where's that out? We're cutting the bottoms out.
Right, so you put
Did you
them on
say the bottoms were smaller or bigger than the tops?
thinner.
Oh,
And
thinner.
Yeah, thinner.
Look,
Thinner.
Oh, I'll hold it up. So that's
Bottom- The bottoms are thinner. The bottoms are thinner.
Jim, why is that? What I missed? Why are the bottoms thinner?
yeah, the pastry that rises up on top. Well, that gives you. It's not so important. It's basically probably. Like, what did you do with the bottom? You mixed it up.
No.
No. Probably it was just a way of using up the scrap paste, and it's not so important for the bottoms to be as thick as the tops. You could make them the same, I suppose, but that's just the way I was taught. So.
And these are the puff pastry ones.
Yes.
As I know I've already said that, but I keep forgetting.
That's why we're using puff paste.
I know, but I'm a mad because I keep thinking that we're going to put them into cases, but we're not. You just put them on a.
I have to say, I don't know how many people will know that this is how you do this. Because when I first started, I saw a Christmas pie or whatever and thought, how did you do that? So I was going to, maybe I was just stupid. Right.
But you said these were more popular when you first started.
These were much more popular. I mean, I don't think we made short crust Christmas pies when I was an apprentice. What's your observations? Did people out there was puff paste or short crust more popular back in the day? Do you think?
Puff pastry.
Yeah, puff pastry.
Yeah, but it's definitely gone the other way now.
Yeah.
But my wife is English and she never heard of puff pastry ones down south. It was always just short crust.
Well, a few years ago, Jim, Cliff Bertram made mince pies that were like little Scotch pies.
Yeah.
The same kind of material. Is that short crust as well?
Scotch pies, those short crust. Mince pies. Is that made in
Scotch pies?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jim made mince pies, with mince meat, but like tiny little Scotch pies, the same kind of pastry.
No,
but I'm not sure, what would you call the pastry that, say, a Scotch pie was made of?
Well, the pie shell, it's hot water paste.
Ah.
It's made on they're pressed out and they're sort of partially cooked, I suppose, when they're being made. And then they stand alone and you just put the meat or whatever in them. Whereas, again, in England, I think their pies are made in foil cases and that.
Okie doke. You ready? Okie doke. So we've got the bottoms on the tray.
Now, Imogen, you need to start. Well, you need to find the pastry brush.
Okay.
Don't panic. It's there someplace.
They have a camera. Okay. Camera's in there. I have
Jim
a
and
question.
Imogen, could you both look at the camera and smile so I can get a picture of you all? That's fine, thank you. Wait a minute, right, okay.
Wendy,
You
did
can
you
see the
have
training came through there, Imogen.
Sorry.
I
The
think
training
have a-
came through there.
I
Actress training. Get the right pose.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Is that stove behind you an aga?
Oh,
No, it's just an extractor fan, isn't it, above?
yeah.
And then,
I can't remember what it's called, a range of, but it's not an agar.
Okay.
Couldn't afford that.
So now, am I going to
Oh, I never tell you that.
paint? I'm going to paint the bottoms with water.
What?
Why am I doing this, Dad?
To make the tops thick, you know.
Oh, well, don't be sarky. I don't bake. As you pointed out, I was bad at washing the dishes.
Right. Now I'm going to put the mincemeat on with a piping bag. You could do it with a spoon, but it's much easier with a piping bag. This is just, I know I've looked up loads of recipes and it's telling you how to make your own mincemeat, but I've never made mincemeat in my life. I just buy the stuff from the shops. But what I do is, especially for these ones, because they're kind of have to be sealed and there's no container to put the stuff into, I would normally put some cake crumb in it. And I looked for trifle sponges, couldn't find them. So instead, it's this camera we're on it.
But this one's on as well, but yeah.
It was, I just used the Mr. Kitling country slices,
Yeah.
just crumbled them up and put them, just to thicken up the mincemeat a bit.
So there we go. I'll switch camera again.
What is the mincemeat made out of?
Well, there's spices and fruit and I mixed some different types together, but there was some brandy involved as well.
Right. So there's no lamb in this.
No. Funnily enough, I saw a thing on BBC, I think, and it was some woman experimenting with one of the old recipes and putting, I think it was lamb in it. And then her and the sort of presenter had one of the mince pies, but the presenter said, "Oh, that's really, really nice," but she didn't look too convinced. But I don't know, I wouldn't have fancied it myself.
It would be interesting to try though, because I suppose you put like cranberry and apple sauce and stuff on meat, so maybe it wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Why do they call it mincemeat if there's no meat in it?
Well, they call it mincemeat because originally it was mince, and that's.
So the name came from back when we were talking about before, when they did have meat in them, and then slowly the meat was phased out, but the name stayed the same. But I was going to put the name actually because you were talking about Mum being English and knowing more of the shortcuts, but she also called them a mince pie, and so would I. But Dad always calls them Christmas pies because he thinks, when he thinks of mince pie, he thinks of like a Scotch pie. So it is a bit confusing. But
And when Bob asked me to do this, he originally said mince pies, and I thought he meant Scotch pies.
so it could have been a very different event.
Jim, is that to let the steam out of the lid?
Yeah, you just make a little slit in the lid.
Slit in the lid.
See that? Yeah. And then you just get a stretch. Here, Imogen, you can have a go.
Yeah.
And you just put it over the top of the mincemeat. The lady from the US, do you have mincemeat pies in America, no?
Well, I actually have a friend who's a nun and she loves mincemeat pie, so I've made her a big one for Christmas a couple of years.
All right.
But it's hard to find the filling here. It's not something that people use a lot.
Right. My count is wrong. I did a baker's dozen of lids. You know
Research Delia Smith's mincemeat. It's really easy. She makes it in the oven.
Right. Okay.
For the filling is that.
Aye.
Yeah.
I was saying that I've made a baker's dozen of lids, so there's one spare. Do you know how the baker's dozen came about? Anyone?
No.
Baker's dozen. Well, back in the day, if the bakers were caught stealing, it was almost a hanging offence. So no stealing, but cheating folk. So if they were to make sure that they were absolutely right, when they were asked for a dozen of something, they would actually give them 13. So there's no variety.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew.
Right, Imogen.
So are they ready? Oh, not
No.
quite yet. Okay, I'll switch camera back again.
Just use a smaller cutter.
Smaller cutter, and then something like that, are you?
Well, I'll do one and then you do the rest. Right, you're just basically sealing them with a cutter.
With the non-sharp end.
With a blunt side of the cutter.
And that makes the wee round eggs.
Now, bet you harder than me. I don't actually glaze them before they go in, as per what we do in the bakery. I wait till they come out and then I make a simple syrup just with a wee spot of water and some sugar. I stick it in the microwave and boil it up. Brush that on the hot mince pie and then sprinkle some sugar on. And that sticks the sugar to them and you'll see the finished article at the end. I'm not going to put these in the oven because you need to rest again before you put them in the oven. The puff paste, whereas the
Complicated puff pastry ones, isn't it?
How long do they rest for, Jim?
20 minutes would be enough. And then you stick them in the oven and it's, well, we'll put it on the recipe, but it's 20 to 25 minutes at 180 fan, and I'll work out what it would be for other temperatures. Put it on the recipe. I'll put these out here out the road. Right. Now, we're going to quickly make some short crust. I've weighed up stuff ready. So this is 500 grams of plain flour. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. And the puff paste, I can't remember the
measurements,
but it's mostly strong flour, strong or bread flour. We a pot of plain flour and there's some margarine mixed in, and then it's water and a small amount of vinegar, which helps the elasticity. And just some salt.
But we can send out the recipe to everybody.
And we use the butter, and it's 3/4. The butter, the fat is roughly 3/4 of the amount of flour, so it's a 3/4 paste.
So now, what are you doing for this shortcut?
Well, that's the flour in.
So I will switch cams again. So you've put the flour into the mixer.
Yeah, we've got a mixer. I mean, you could do it by hand if you wanted, but.
Imogen, can you take that carrier bag and the Kipling things out of that camera view, please?
Sorry.
Thank you.
So there we go.
Imogen, can I ask, what is the bottle of Harvey's for?
Oh, decor, and also it's hiding the finished product. Yeah, and we're gonna have some at the end, Dad. So yeah, you put the flour in, and that's just mixing, is it?
The flour and the butter's rubbing into the flour, and then you need some sugar and an egg.
Is that just plain flour this time, or is it strong bread flour again?
Oh,
no, this is plain flour.
Yeah.
Plain flour for the short crust. It's only strong flour for the puff paste.
Okay, and then you've got your egg and your sugar. Okay.
So obviously, the puff pastry, it needs the stronger flour because it's got to rise and so on, whereas the short crust, that doesn't rise, and also you want them to work the short crust as little as possible, because the more you work it, the tougher it gets, and it'll not be so good.
Not be so good.
Now, it's possible you might need to put a wee spot of water in this as well.
So back on the mixer with the famous bottle of Harvey's. So yeah, so that's just mixing up. Dad doesn't know whether he's coming or going. So yes, I think it might be time for another joke. These are, we're on to the ones that I've sort of made up myself now, so just warning you in advance. What's made of fruit, spices and pastry and has a long forked tongue?
I don't know. What's made of fruit, spices and pastry and has a long forked tongue?
A mince python.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
What's your stage name in Imogen? Is it Walker?
Was there a question, sorry, or a comment?
What's your stage name? What's your stage name?
Oh, my stage name, it's Imogen Mackie Walker. So there's already an Imogen Walker who's a who was an actress and she's now a Labour MP. So if you Google Imogen Walker, she's quite prevalent. So I threw in the Mackie, which was my dad's mum's maiden name. So yeah.
My daughter's an actress in London as well.
Oh, is she? What's her name?
Michelle Duncan.
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
Where did she go?
Did she train in London?
She went to Queen Margaret College and then St Andrews University.
Oh, fabulous. That's great. I think my sister went, not for acting, but I think my sister went to Queen Margaret.
She went to Queen Margaret.
In Edinburgh. Fab. So we're still mixing, as we can see. So yeah, we thought we'd show you from scratch the pastry. Obviously, if like me, this all seems a little bit advanced with the pastry as well. Maybe that's just a me thing, but you can obviously just buy pastry and get straight into the mincemeat part of it.
It's probably easier buying, especially the puff pastry.
The puff pastry is actually.
Right.
Okay, what are we doing now?
Well, I'm going to wait to pin them out. Now, I would advise that you, for the short crust ones, use this.
We're on this camera now.
Use one of these and a little spray of that just to make sure they come out.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right, go for it, Imogen.
Okay.
And then we'll spray.
Oh, giving them a spray. Sorry, I'm on the spraying.
That would do.
How many Jim, how many bridies would you expect to make in a day at work?
It's hard to tell, but a lot. Well, not as much as we used to do, because I think folk are getting more health conscious. And I've always said, if you look at any Scots baker's window, it's everything you're not supposed to eat. So it's difficult to say how many, but quite a lot. And it's a bit of a monotonous job, really, when you're doing it.
Mm. And then you make all the different sizes of varieties and everything. And I'm guessing, do you make mince pies at work at the moment, only at Christmas time?
Only at Christmas time.
Yeah.
But I mean, for these, we have a machine that stamps them out. So you didn't hear this, whereas the
bridies are handmade.
Aye, but the puff pastry ones, that's just the way we do it as well. But for these ones, it would be, now this is down to about the thickness of 1 pence. 1 pound coin.
A 1 pound coin, that was a 1 pound coin.
But you've got to keep that paste moving, but it sticks to the surface.
Imogen, could you pull that camera back just a fraction so that we see the top of your dad's head as well?
This one?
The one, the side on one.
All right. Okay.
You want to see the top?
I was just trying to get the hand angle.
You want to see the top of my head, Malcolm?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can imagine you were here.
I'll lift it up.
Fortunately, it's a long blonde wig I'm seeing, but that's just by the by.
Right, Imogen.
Uh-huh.
If you put these in like that, you can concentrate on it.
Yeah. So I'm pushing the cases in the pre-sprayed whatever.
Put the short crust in trees.
Yeah, there we go.
So these are like cupcake trays, aren't they?
Yeah, I actually bought these today. Yeah, but I mean, we did have some.
When I was buying
the ones I had.
In Clarence.
So maybe Jim just makes short crust puff pastry.
So yeah, you do always make both each Christmas, but you didn't have this case before because you had another one?
Yeah.
But yeah, because who is it? You make the short crust ones for mum and the puff paste ones for you.
Jim, how long do they keep once they're made?
They keep quite a while. And I mean, the mince itself, I mean, I keep it from 1 year to the next.
Well, have a go.
Well, be careful then, not too much.
There we go. I'll let you do some more. I won't do all this, it'll take us all day.
Yeah.
You're much quicker, but here we go. I'm having a little go.
Again, I'm using the piping bag because it's easier, but these especially, you can do it with a spoon, no bother. You might not have a piping bag and you might not be as confident.
So yeah. Oh, okay. That. Okay, yeah, we're filling those up, and then what do you do for the lids?
Well, you can use your finger to sort of press them down a wee bit, Imogen.
Okay.
Again, you can use a scrap, but just don't overwork it if possible. But short of throwing it out, which is a terrible waste, you need to use it all up. I'm only going to do half of them with lids. Just kind of sticking a wee bit.
Because you're going to do the other half with
Crumble. I've never done it before, but they seem to be in vogue. Right.
So you're cutting those out.
No, wrong one.
Oh no, it's there, Dad.
No. The wrong one. Could be.
So, Jim, sorry, it's Mike again. For sort of amateur bakers like us, do you think it's the fact that we may overwork flour, that sometimes the pastry rather? Sorry.
Yeah. Your wife not a domestic science teacher?
No, that's Keith you're thinking about.
All right. Okay.
It's a bit confused sometimes.
Anyway, I thought somebody was trying to catch me out there.
Is that Leone, the domestic
That's
goddess?
the main reason.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Mike's not got a clue. He read that question in a book just so he could ask it, so we all thought he knew what he was talking about.
Right.
Yes, Dan.
I would advise you to give a wee wipe with the
All right. Okay.
one like that. Yes, I would say that's short crust. The least work in the bit, the less work in the better.
Looks great.
Whereas the puff paste, obviously, that's no such an issue because it needs to be that bit more robust. Anyway. Anything biscuits, anything that you're making with this kind of pastry at this type.
You don't want to basically roll it out too much, is that
No.
what it is? Okay.
And when you're cutting stuff out at more leisurely space, try and cut as close as possible so you've got the least amount of scrap. Right,
Jim, with the short crust pastry, are you making the lids the same thickness as the base?
Do you make the short crust pastry lids the same thickness as the base?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, so those ones are the same. And you did say, to be fair, that there's no real actual reason for the puff, is it? It's just about saving using the scrap, isn't it? So it's not like a hard and fast rule.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, and now we're doing crumbling, are we?
Yeah, but we'll just flatten it down. Now the crumble. Yeah. Now the crumble, it's just, I can't remember the amounts, but it was just plain flour, brown sugar. It tastes so good. Brown sugar, some butter, and some ground almonds. But they're quite good. And again, we could put the recipe for that one as well.
Yeah.
Imogen hasn't typed out yet, so.
Thank you. I said not to mention that. I was working today, but I will do it as soon as this is over. I will type them out, and so we can send them out we'll send them to Diane, and then send them to whoever wants them. I think we've got time for our final joke. of the evening, you'll be pleased to hear. What did the baker say when he proposed to his wife?
I don't know. What did the baker say when he proposed to his wife?
I only have pies for you. Said Mum, Dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You seen this stuff going on, are you?
Yeah, it's all on here.
Right. Let's see. It's
So yeah. And then how long do they go in the oven for?
they would be about roughly 20 minutes at 180 fan. And when they go, we need to also give the other ones with the lids a wee couple of stoves again to let the steam out. And as I said, when the puff pastry ones come out of the oven, you use this simple syrup that you've made with water and sugar, give them a brush and then sprinkle caster or granulated sugar on them. With these ones, I usually just give them, once they come out of the oven, I give them a little sprinkle with icing sugar, just to decorate them up a bit, including the crumble ones.
Okay.
And that's all there is to it.
It's that simple.
Imogen,
What?
there's a big reveal.
Oh yes, the big reveal. So the Harvey's bottle was hiding on the Merry Christmas sign. The mince pies that Dad made earlier, which I will bring into focus if I can without dropping them. So we've got them here. I'll bring the camera a bit closer. So we've got our short crust on the top there. You've got the crumble and the other ones. And then you've got your flaky pastry ones down there. And then I will, I'll show you them as well on the other camera. And yes, that's it.
And you can see that it's the sugar on the puff paste and the icing sugar on the other ones. Okay?
Lovely.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just doing a fashion show of the various mince pies that we have. There we go.
Okay.
Wow.
Thanks, Jim and Imogen. Has anybody got any questions?
Question.
I just want to know if they ship them to the States.
Nice to meet them. Mincemeat in some of those sort of places that sell British foods and that.
If you have that, there we have the American, we can buy American food over here. Do you have the same or? No.
Oh, did you have a question?
Jim Grant, yeah.
Yeah, could I ask you a question, Jim? Have you ever tried making mince pies with gluten-free pastry?
I haven't, but I mean, I don't know. Well, it would have to be gluten-free flour, and I've never tried it. But
No, I would reckon it would be pretty difficult even to make short crust pastry with gluten-free flour. Yeah.
I've used gluten-free, but sometimes get that request in the bakery for cakes with gluten-free flour and that. But it's quite a rare.
You have, not with mince pies, but you have experimented with dairy-free baking for a friend of mine that's vegan, but you've never had to do gluten-free, have you?
No, never done. Dairy-free was.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all the questions.
Anything else?
Merry Christmas.
I was going to say that was what the sherry was for.
Merry Christmas.
Well done, guys.
Well, thanks, Jim.
Well
and
done,
Imogen.
Jim.
Jim and Imogen will return. They're going to come and do a quiz for us in the new year on the 2nd of February. So we look forward
Thank
to
you
that.
very much.
And thanks again for a scrumptious evening.
Yeah.
I wish we could taste them.
Thanks to Diane for having the idea of this and organising the Zoom and all that stuff.
No problem.
Well done.
I wish we weren't in this format and everyone could have a mince pie, but at some point we won't be on Zoom again. We'll be able to.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
Greetings from our Broth Club. Happy Christmas to you all.
Yeah, thanks to all the clubs for joining us and to Inner Wheel.
Yeah.
For coming too.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to see everybody.
Gary.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks very much,
Bye.
Imogen and
Bye.
Jim.
Bye.
Right, see you later, bye.
Just
Bye.
on for a second.